Hello everyone, Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am live this morning with my weekly card class to go, and this week I am featuring the Jolly Words stamp set from the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. So I'm just going to switch right over to my desktop only and we'll get started doing some crafting. Good morning, Kim. All right. So this is a really simple but fun stamp set. It's just got 3 images in it that are also your text, and I'm going to show you just how we can have some fun with that using some designer series paper, some embossing folders, and really making those sentiments pop. So I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'll show you our first card today. So there we go. This is actually, oh, good morning. This is using a sketch. Oh, I can't even remember where I saw the sketch, but it was that idea of like the circle with the line across. And so I just decided to use that for this card. So I do have my background paper is pre-embossed, and this is one of the 3 embossing folders that comes in the basics embossing folder pack. So you won't find this in any of our catalogs. This is actually what they call an online exclusive. And so we've got like a crosshatch, the polka dots, and these are like really big divots on the page. And then the beautiful like starburst. So I'm actually using all 3. We're using one on each of our cards today. And they come together as a pack. I believe it's $41 Canadian to get the 3. So if you haven't seen those yet, I do use them a fair amount, but if you haven't seen them yet, those are an online exclusive, which is why they're not in our catalog, and they're available until they're not. So I'm going to take that piece that I embossed, and I'm just going to straight up glue it down to my card front. So I am doing kind of a white on white because I wanted a white background, but I don't want to emboss my card front. You totally can, but I find it makes the card just a little bit weak, and then it kind of stands funny when, like, if you're putting it on display, like on a mantle or on a windowsill or something, it just kind of stands funny if you've embossed the front. So I like to emboss just a layer and then glue it down. That way we keep the strength of our card. All right, so there we have our layer all put down. I know, Kim, they are, seriously, they are so great because if you need something really bold, it's there. If you need something really subtle, it's there. Oh, hi, Allison. Thanks for watching. Yeah, the white on white is one of my favorite color combos. All right, so now the rest of this we're not going to put down yet because it's going to go on with dimensionals. So I'm going to set that off to the side, and I'm going to show you how I created my little image here. I'm going to put the lid on my glue. So I'm going to grab my elves and some basic black ink, or memento black ink. And I'm going to ink up the entire image, including the J and the Y for joy. It's all good. We're going to do all of that. And then when I stamp this, though, I'm going to stamp it up quite high so that my wreath stays on my circle, but my J and my Y don't. And that's totally okay because we're actually going to be stamping those separately in shaded spruce and adding them back on. So you can see I just wanted to get my wreath fairly up high. That also leaves us some space at the bottom so that I can cover up the bottom of my circle with my DSP. So just like that. So we've stamped those off. Now I'm going to clean that image, and we're going to re-stamp just the top of it using some shaded spruce ink. Okay, there we go, nice and clean. So I'm going to grab my shaded spruce now, and I'm not going to worry about getting the whole image inked up. I'm going to focus on inking up just the J and the Y enjoy. And then the whole image doesn't actually fit on the scrap in your kit. Just the J and the Y need to fit. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit congested this morning for some reason. All right, so we've got our J and our Y stamped there. And now I'm going to grab my paper snips and I'm going to just cut these out. So while I'm cutting these out, because that's kind of boring for you guys, I'll just let you know about a few things to do with my card class to go. So I run these, I try to run them every week, but life gets in the way sometimes. And with a $60 order, you get the make and takes to make 2 of each of the cards that I'm going to create today. With a $70 order, you actually get the embellishments that I'm using added in. Now, this week, that is a limited quantity because these embellishments that I'm going to be using are actually currently unavailable, and I only have so many in my stash. So I'll send something equivalent if I can't get you these ones. But first come, first serve on the ones that I do have. And then we have an extra bonus in that right now, with a $100 order in Canada, you actually get free shipping, which is huge. Shipping's like so expensive. So kind of a nice perk. Now, the other deal that we have going on right now is that we also have a join special that is a ridiculous deal. You either get 35% off your kit or 35% more product in your kit when you join this month. So if you want more info about that, you can check that out on my website, or you can just give me a shout and ask me about that. All right, so just about done. There we go. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff to get rid of now. And we have our J and our Y all cut out. Wonderful. So with those the J and the Y cut out, I'm actually going to attach them onto this circle using some dimensionals. You know what, though? I should probably color first, then they won't be in my way. So I'm using 3 different colors on this coloring, on this piece. I am using Real Red Blends. I am using Shaded Spruce. And then one of my favorite color combos is Bronze and Ivory, because it gives us a really dark and a really light together. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm going to start with my bronze, and I'm actually going to color the bells on their hats in bronze and the tiny little bit of hair that's showing on each of them. There we go. So that's my bronze. I'm going to use my ivory to color in their cute little arms and hands and faces. There we go. And so now I am using the fine tip for all of my coloring today. You could use the paintbrush tip, but I just find that these spaces are just a tad too small for that for my liking. All right, so we've got that colored. So that's our bronze and ivory combo. Those two come together. Now I'm going to use my light Shaded Spruce. And for this one, I can use my wider tip because I'm coloring in my whole wreath except for the 3 little baubles on it. I'm even coloring like where you see that there's obviously like little holly dots and stuff. I'm even coloring those. Not being too careful about this at all. And then, yeah, just go around those ornaments though. And this one down here at the bottom. All right, there we go. So we've got that whole wreath colored in with light shaded spruce. Now I'm going to take the fine tip, maybe. Sometimes these lids go on really tight and I can't pull them off. I don't know if it's me or if it's the pen. Oh my goodness. There we go. Sometimes my hands don't work very well in the mornings. So there we go. I got that off. So I'm using the fine tip and I'm going through and I'm highlighting, like there's actually leaves on here that look like leaves. Maybe you can see those. And so I'm just going in with the darker shaded spruce and making those stand out even more. I'm kind of coloring them in. Just to add a little bit of interest to our wreath. There we go. Oh, come on. And then I am going to take my dark real red, again, the fine tip, and I'm going to put little red dots on that wreath where I want my little holly berries to be. You can see there's like little circles on the wreath. And that red just colors straight over top of the green. It looks a little black on the screen, but in person, it's actually really red. Oh, I'm so glad to see it's not just me with these lids. I don't know. All right, and then I'm going to color my ornaments. I'm actually going to color the whole ornament. Oh, darn it. I just used dark. I was supposed to do that in light and then add dark elements, but we'll just do this the reverse. So I've done it all in dark, and I'm going to go back through with my light, and it won't have quite the same effect I wanted it to have, but it will change the color. So that's the cool thing about the blends is as you watch, give it some time, it is actually making that dark light again. So it's kind of cool. All right, now this time I'm not going to mess up. I'm going to start with my light. There we go. And I'm going to color in the hats, but I'm leaving that white trim not colored. And I'm going to color the shirt as well. I'm going to do that on both my little elves. There we go. And there we go. Now with all of that colored in with my light real red, I'm going to go back with my dark and just add in a little bit of dark on the hats, just in the spots that have like the little marks there anyways. And so that's just colored in our guys. So cute. They're so sweet. So they are now ready to have those letters attached. So I am going to use mini dimensionals for this. And I'm not going to put them up near the top because that's actually going to hang off of our card a bit. But I am going to put them down at the bottom. And they fit quite nicely, actually. And then when I look at this, I can also fit one in on the top of this Y, but not on the other side. All right, so I'll take those backings off so those minis fit perfectly. If you want something a little bit smaller, you could take a mini and cut it in half, or take the edging and cut that down and use it. And then I'm going to attach that onto my circle and do the same for my J. And then because the top kind of disappears, I'm not going to bother going all the way up. So I've just done 3 down on the bottom of my J, and we won't bother with the top. Oh, come on. There we go. And then that gets attached. So I did leave like a little border around my letters, which is what allowed me to be able to fit those minis behind. So now we have that piece all ready to go onto our card front. So I'm going to now use some liquid glue to attach that one. There we go. And this is going right kind of in the center of our card. And I am looking at kind of a compromise between the joy and their feet being straight. You actually can't get both straight. It's kind of an unusual little image. And there we go. All right, and then this, oh, I was going to put on with dimensionals, but I guess I won't. I'll glue it down because I should have put that circle on with dimensionals. Oh, well. All right. Change it up. It's all getting glued together. It'll be fine. All right, so that is now going to go down across the bottom like that. So it looks like they're standing on it like it's the ground or something, but it's that cute little fa la 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 la. And yeah, so now we're going to, I'm just going to move those off to the side, not too far because I'm using them on the next card, but now we're going to add our embellishments. And so I'd mentioned that the embellishments I'm using this week are not available. I did grab a bunch though because I love them. And so I'm just going to throw a few of these on here. We do have 2 different sizes. And for this card, I am just using white ones and adding them on. So these are the adhesive backed glittered sequins, and they're just so much fun. Beautiful. So that's our first card all done. So 1 stamp really, and then do some coloring and voila, you've got a card. And I mean, honestly, you could just stamp this image on a piece of white cardstock, color it in, and call it a day. Like, it's so cute. The other thing I've been looking at is creating tags with that on it. So just doing that on a piece of white cardstock and then putting it onto a tag base. It's just fast and easy and so adorable. So yeah, that's our first card from our Jolly Words card class. All right. Our second card, I am actually changing up my coloring a little bit when I do this one, but here it is. This is one of the easiest layouts ever. It's literally like a strip of anything textured or DSP and then a sentiment, and voila, you're done. This is like my go-to, I don't know what to do, this is what I'm going to do kind of layout. It works with so many things. And so I've used some really bright colors though. And this is to kind of go again with the colors in, oh, I never even told you about the DSP I was using on that first card. All the DSP I'm using today comes from the Merry, Bold, and Bright DSP pack. And so it's bold and bright and lots of merry. There's different ornaments, different stripes, lots of rainbow stuff. There's some stars in here. It's a beautiful, beautiful, fun designer series paper pack. And 12 by 12. So that's where all my paper's coming from today. So I do have these really beautiful bright lights. And then the back is the red and pink stripe, the Melamambo, and real red, and just fun. I don't know. I like it. So this piece gets glued onto its Granny Apple Green border. So I always just use liquid glue to do that kind of stuff. Lots of liquid glue on this card. All right. So we'll glue most of our layers together before we do our stamping, clean up the desktop a bit. So we glue that to that, and then I'm going to glue it to an embossed layer that's embossed with those dots from the Basics 3D embossing folders. So the reason I'm gluing these layers together first is just in case I wasn't precise with my measurements. if I glue all of this together first, then I have the opportunity to go in and trim things if I need to, because this is just a top layer. It doesn't have to be exactly a specific size. So if these didn't line up, I could go in and trim off any extra. Now, apparently I was quite precise when I did this because they lined up beautifully. Nothing to trim, which means I can just go ahead and glue this directly to my card front. All right, just like that. And our front is almost done. I do have an extra piece of basic white here. I'm going to glue this to the inside of my card, just to create that finished look and give a nice place to do some writing instead of writing on Granny Apple Green. There we go. And now I'll put that off to the side and we will work on our sentiment. So both of these pieces have been cut using the nested essentials dies. And so it's the banner, the rounded rectangle, and the hexagons. They all have the stitching and they all layer beautifully onto each other. So yeah, the nested essentials is what I'm using for this one. And so in this little space here, I'm going to grab my 'Tis the Season and I'm going to stamp it directly with my shaded spruce. So, I've been using this one a lot. It might be time to re-ink, but we'll see if I can get one more image out of this. So we stamp that kind of as centered as we can. There we go. And then we're going to color in the little ornament. So I'm going to use some of the colors that I already had, and then I'm also going to bring in some balmy blue into the mix. Now, let's see, I had a way of coloring it that I liked a little bit better than what I did on my original. So I'm going to color the majority of our ornament in balmy blue. You can color right over those dots or color around them. It's totally your choice. So I'm coloring the top and the bottom in light balmy blue to start. And then I'm going to come back with my dark balmy blue. Just do a little bit on the side. There we go. Then I'm going to take, oh, that's right. I'm also going to bring in some Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to use the light Granny Apple Green to do the top of the ornament and the polka dots on there. And then I'm going to grab my light real red and color in my stripe. There we go. So just a cute little festive ornament there. You can go ahead and color that one up however you would like. Then I'm going to glue this one down to the Granny Apple Green base that I have. There we go. So that's all done. We can now grab some dimensionals to attach this to our card front. And I just did one in each corner. Actually, knowing me, I probably did one in the center too, because that seems like a big space. There we go. Peel all those off. And then you can really do this wherever you want, like put it up high, put it down low, whatever kind of feels right to you. I'm going to put mine down low again. There we go. And this time around, I am going to grab the Granny Apple Green sparkly adhesive back glittered sequins. That's what they are. And pop those on there. And I did use one of them as the dot on the eye for 'Tis the Season. Yeah, so it's a great layout, Kim. I use this layout a lot, and you can really make it look different depending on the patterns that you use and the sentiments you use. And yeah, it can be just it's a really easy go-to layout that can be used with pretty much any stamp set. So yeah, so that's our second card in our Jolly Words card class to go. And then our last one, it's so like classic to me, is the Santa sleigh with the ho, ho, ho. So I did change it up a bit in that I used early espresso instead of Memento Black on this one. You could totally do this in black as well. I just didn't. I really liked the idea of the early espresso. So I'm actually going to do our stamping first on this one. So you've got your hexagon here. This is the largest hexagon from those Nested Essentials. I'm going to grab my early espresso ink. And I'm going to ink up our image here. And so for this one, it's so large, I am putting the ink pad to the image. There we go. And inked up the whole thing. With that done, I'm trying to get the ho, ho, ho straight, I guess you would call it on here. So there we go. All right, not bad. So yeah, just kind of trying to center that and get it straight across our image. So I don't know, I love this image, but I especially love it on this hexagon. If you're not sure about lining that up, you can also grab like a 4 by 5.5, like just cut a piece of paper in quarters, stamp your image, and then put your die around it to die cut it. That works as well and can sometimes be just a little bit easier to line that up and to do that. All right, so I'm now going to grab my light balmy blue and just kind of accent those clouds in the background. So it's just something soft and subtle. And it's going to tie in our balmy blue background to our front. Then I'm going to grab my bronze and ivory. I'm going to start with my ivory, and I'm coloring all the antlers and all the hooves in ivory. And so this is really just like drawing straight lines because that kind of fills the whole space. One more antler. There we go. And I'll also do Santa's little face and his hands, although he should be wearing gloves. We'll do that. So that's our bronze and ivory. Oh, sorry. And I also used the bronze to color the big old sack of toys. I could have made it red, but with the red sleigh, it just started to feel like too much red going on. So do that, color that. Okay, so there's our bronze and ivory done. Oh no, there's our ivory done. I didn't color our reindeer. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to color our reindeer. You can color straight over the spots where you can see the reins are, or you can avoid them. It's going to work either way. I'm trying to avoid them, but if you color over them, don't worry, because you can still color them in red later. All right. And so I color all these little guys in. There we go. So I am using the finer tip to do this. You could probably color them a bit faster with the wider tip. I just don't want to, like, it doesn't really matter if you go out of the lines because the lines are also like fairly sketchy. But I didn't want to. All right. And because the lines are a little sketchy, it's, you know, I'm kind of going slow to make sure the parts I'm coloring are actually like reindeer parts and not something else. There we go. All right, so we've got our reindeer colored in. Now I'm going to use the dark real red, and I'm going to color the harnesses on our reindeer. There we go. And I'll give him a little red nose. I know Rudolph's supposed to be at the front, but he's taking a break. He's at the back this time. All right. Now, with that done, we've got to work on our little scene back here. So I'm going to use my light shaded spruce and color in the remaining gifts back here. There we go. So I did make them green because we're going to have our red sleigh, and so I really wanted it to kind of stand out, and Santa's in red and everything. So we're going to color in Santa. I'm using the light real red to color Santa's suit. And give him a little white trim. There we go. All right, and then I'm actually going to switch over to our wider tip and color in the rest of the sleigh with our light real red. Now I'm going to be going back over this with some dark to add in some highlights afterwards, but I'm starting with the light red. Okay, here we go. So we've got that. Now I'm going to grab the dark red. Yeah, the ivory and bronze is very versatile. You can use it for so many things. There we go. We're just going to go over the inside of a sleigh and make it a little bit darker and outline, not even outline really, but like highlight some of the curves on a sleigh. There we go. And once we've done that, I'm going to get my light again to help blend that line. Because I don't want like a stark line. So I could have done that dark line before I colored in light, and that would have helped blend it as well. There we go. And same with the front here. Yeah. All right, so it just gives a lot of kind of extra depth to his sleigh. So there you have it. That is our image all colored. So that's kind of the time-consuming part of these cards, is all of our coloring. So with that done, we now get to put our card together. And the first thing we're going to do is take this second hexagon that I've got created here. This was cut out of the textured glimmer paper. Oh, I've got it right beside me. There we go. So you get 3 colors. You get white, balmy blue, and shaded spruce. And let me see. It is, yeah, textured 12 by 12 shimmer paper. And so it's just got those little ridges on it. You get 2 sheets of each color. And so I cut a hexagon out of the shaded spruce. And then the next thing I'm going to do, and I don't have to be super precise with this, is I'm going to cut this in half. If it's not exactly half, nobody's going to know. So half-ish. So we just cut that in half. so that we've got two pieces. And with those two pieces, I'm going to attach them to the back of my image that I've just colored. Now you can use liquid glue for this, but I want it to be a fast and kind of quick hold. So I'm going to put some Seal Plus along the top edge and the bottom edge. And then I'm going to take this piece and line it up on the short ends so that they're the same, like it's not going to stick out on the short ends. Oops. There we go. And just give a little green border there across the top. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So you're kind of lining it up on the two shorter ends. There we go. And so now we've got just that little border there with the shimmery textured shaded spruce on the top and the bottom. All right, so we can take all of our pieces now and basically just start gluing them together. So I'm going to take my Balmy Blue that I've used that third Basics 3D embossing folder on. This is the one that's like the crosshatch. So I just put crosshatch all over this. I'm going to glue that layer to an early espresso layer. And then I'm going to glue my early espresso layer to my card front. There we go. And then we're going to take our beautiful colored piece and attach it with dimensionals. So see, I've got some here. There we go. So basically one in every corner. And now I'm down to just my bits here. So I actually don't waste these. I cut them up and use them as well. So there we go. There we go. And then this is such a large piece. I will do one in the middle. Okay. So peel all of those off and we'll attach this. Okay. And I did try to center it, top to bottom, left to right. There. And then our final touches are to add some of the sequins to our card. And so it kind of did it just wherever it felt like we had some open spaces. I'm actually going to cover up one of those. Put some down here. And then all the way over here. So there we have it. We've got some beautiful sparkly blue on that card now, just to finish it off. So that was our third card in this set. So I'll just bring them all back. So these are the cards that you'll create in this week's weekly card class to go. With a $60 purchase, you'll get the make and takes to make 6 cards, 2 of each of the 3 designs. And yeah, with a $100 order, you get that free shipping. So really worth taking a look at your wish list. This is kind of like your last real big push to grab stuff for Christmas if you're going to have a lot of crafting time left to use it. So take advantage of that free shipping. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll be back next week with another card class to go. It will, sorry, it will be a Christmas set. either the Cheers to the Season or the Joy for You. I'm actually designing both right now because those are going to be my next 2 weeks. So if you are looking to place a $100 order and get that free shipping, and you wanted to add in the Joy for You and the Cheers to the Seasons, then you'll be set to go for my next 2 card classes, and have the stamp set so you can craft along with me. Yeah, so that is about all that's going on right now. Just continue to be super busy with my real job, my teaching, and trying to fit in as much crafting as I can. Have a wonderful week, everyone. And yeah, don't forget, today's that last day for the free shipping. It ends at midnight Mountain Time. So that's 11 p.m. here in British Columbia. Contact me if you have any questions. Today's my day off from teaching, so I'm around, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.